Hi, I'm Lauren of X Factor Films and Sweet Desert Palm, and this is week 14 of my Reluctant Filmmaker vlog. This week I'm going to do something very simple. I'm going to do 12 reviews of movies and TV shows, and I'm going to do them in alphabetical order. Ready? The first one is cheating a little bit because it's actually a web series on YouTube called Adult Wednesday Addams by Melissa Hunter, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a satirical take on Wednesday Addams if she had grown up and is now in her 20s living in Los Angeles. Super fun stuff, and there's definitely an awesome feminist flair to it. Season 2 just aired, so there's only been 3 episodes of that one, but you can also go back and watch all of season 1. 2. I saw Annie Hall for the first time, Woody Allen's Annie Hall, with Diane Keaton. And really, I don't have too much to say about this. Maybe it's because it's been talked about for so long that it felt sort of like a letdown to me, to be completely honest. I just felt like it was another sad New York comedy. But then again, it was probably one of the first. So probably groundbreaking. Also, not saying that he is, but it was really hard to watch this and not think about Woody Allen as a pedophile. Just saying that. Moving on to another sad New York comedy, but in a totally different way. Appropriate Behavior is by writer, director, actress Desiree Akhavan. It's about an American Persian Brooklynite who is trying to find herself. That part of it is a familiar story, but the struggle between her family's culture and her being a bisexual is really interesting. I'd never seen this point of view on film before, and I found her comedy to be really refreshing and relatable. Another New York comedy, except this time not a film, a TV show, that started off as a web series, that's not sad at all, at least to me, is Broad City. My intern Hannah has been talking about this forever, and recently I found Broad City on Hulu, all of season 1 and part of season 2, which is, I guess, now coming out on Comedy Central. And it's absolutely hysterical. These two girls were found on YouTube doing a web series by Amy Poehler, and she picked them up and brought them to Comedy Central. And my boyfriend and I can't get enough of this show. It's hysterical. Check it out if you like kind of raunchy girl comedy. I laugh out loud every single time I watch it. 5th is Dear White People, which is an independent film that is basically a satirical racial comedy about, the tagline is, being a black face in a white place. It's based on somewhere like Harvard or some kind of Ivy League school that is notoriously very white. But there is, of course, a black community of students there, and it highlights 4 students who all have different takes on being a black face in a white place and what to do to take advantage of that, or how to hide it in some capacity depending on what their personality is and how they see themselves in this world and who they want to be. I found the beginning of the movie really slow, but by the end was really happy that I'd watched it, and it picked up steam for me and just taught me a lot about human nature, or allowed me to relate to these characters in ways that I've never been able to on screen before. So that was cool. There's a UK show I've been obsessed with called The Fall. This is with Gillian Anderson, who played Scully in The X-Files. Yes, I know. And now she's blonde, and she is a detective who's looking for this serial killer, played by Jamie Dornan, who will be Christian Grey in the upcoming 50 Shades of Grey. And it's a psychological crime drama, pretty obviously. She is incredible in it, and he is as well, and there's a really strange dynamic between them. It really dives into who they are as people and all the shades that humans can have while picking a good side or a bad side, basically. I love it. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Orphan Black, if you like sci-fi dramas with comedic elements and absolutely fantastic acting, this one's for you. This is about a group of clones who naturally are played by the same actress, so she gets to take on so many different characters and personalities each episode, and it's super fascinating to watch her go through that transition. A 1990 documentary by a filmmaker named Jenny Livingston, who Greta actually got to meet at the Sundance Film Festival, which was cool. This is called Paris is Burning. I'm just going to straight up read the description off IMDb because I had a hard time thinking about how to describe this, but this is pretty perfect. A chronicle of New York's drag scene in the 1980s, focusing on balls, voguing, like the beginning of Madonna's voguing. This is apparently where it came from. And ambitions and dreams of those who gave the era its warmth and vitality. This documentary is incredible, and it's not a world that a lot of people have seen before, and it really makes you understand why somebody might want to go through and do a drag show. It's really interesting. Reversal. I'm not usually this negative about movies. However, I saw this film at Sundance and I absolutely hated it. If you like films that clearly need a couple more rewrites, don't have that great acting, are over the top and they're so bad that you might be laughing when it's supposed to be scary, then this one's for you. But that's too bad for you because you can't even watch it because it came out at Sundance this year and it probably won't be out, if it comes out at all, for another year. Next is Sam Klemke's Time Machine. This is another documentary and I loved it. This is a sad, funny exploration of our need to be known in some capacity. It's about a guy who films himself over the span of about 40 years, and a documentary filmmaker gets a hold of this footage and basically creates a time machine where we get to see him every single year grow as a human and see what his goals and ambitions are and how that changes. And then at the screening I was at, Sam Klemke was actually there, so it was really interesting to see his entire life and then, or see part of the snippets of his life, of course, and then see him in the flesh and see how he was sort of reacting to that. And in Sam Klemke fashion, he was recording us watching him in the Q&A afterwards, so I'm sure he'll file that archive somewhere and maybe eventually go back and watch it. You guys might have seen some commercials recently for The Slap. It is a network television show that will be coming out soon here in the US. And I recently went on Hulu and saw The Slap. So I clicked on it because I thought it was maybe an early pilot showing or something like that. But it wasn't. It was a full season of the Australian version that The Slap here in the US is based on. So I started watching it and I got hooked. It's absolutely incredible. It feels like something that HBO would put out here in the US. It's that kind of high quality. And what it's about, the Australian version at least is like a deep drama about this group of friends and family who go to a 40th birthday party and their lives begin to unravel before our eyes in lots of different ways after one of these friends slaps another family's kid. And all hell breaks loose. So we basically jump into their lives in this moment, and then each episode is told from a different person's point of view. It's chronological, like we're not repeating things, but one person will give you this perspective and everything that's going on in their life, and then we'll move to, let's say his wife, and his wife knows things that he doesn't, and it reveals more stuff about the situation and the people involved in it. I got hooked so fast, and in 48 hours watched 7 episodes, and I only have 1 more left of what's available on Hulu. So go in and check that out. Really cool. I've never seen anything like it. And the last one is The Witch. This was my favorite film that I saw at Sundance of the 4 films that I got to see. It is a dark New England historical supernatural thriller about a family who thinks that somebody in their family is or might be a witch. So something that is a little bit up my alley, and I liked the New England angle. And I had recently gone to Salem for Halloween, so I had learned a lot about that era, and so it was cool to see a sort of supernatural twist on the beginning of what was going on with the witch trials. Apparently a lot of it is really historically accurate in terms of what people believed and how they reacted to this kind of thing, but it's still a supernatural thriller, so there's those elements to it as well. which is pretty cool and not something I've ever seen in a movie done this way. It was like a supernatural thriller, but it felt like There Will Be Blood. It didn't feel like Vampire Diaries or something like that. So that was really cool. Look out for it because it just came out at Sundance, so it won't be out for a while, but I would be willing to bet that this one's gonna get picked up if it hasn't already. All right, that's it for my 12 reviews. Hope you enjoyed them. Go check some stuff out and waste some hours consuming stuff this weekend. As always, you can subscribe to me at xfactorfilm.com/Lauren Tracy, and that will give you updates directly from me via email about everything that's going on with Sweet Desert Palm and anything else that I'm directing or doing in the film world. And or you can subscribe to me here on YouTube. All right, peace out.